So I want to talk about verses 34 to 37 of the Havamal in the various translations and how you can apply it. I'm going to title these notes The Deception of Time. I originally wanted to call it The Perception of Time because of how the first verse, what it discusses. But the more I've thought about it and the more I've gone down the rabbit hole of thinking about it, I want to call it The Deception of Time because it sounds more interesting. So anyway, obviously in verse 34 it's talking about how the journey to a bad friend's house can differ to how the journey to a good friend's house happens and how you can perceive it. And obviously the deception of time can really be something that plays with our perceptions. I mean, obviously when you're going somewhere you don't want to go, you get there too quickly before you're ready. And when you're going to a friend's house, you can't get there quick enough. And I think that's one of the things it's saying. And obviously, sort of to go off at a tangent, it's interesting how when you're having a bad time, time seems to drag. And when you're having a really good time, time seems to just fly by before you realise it. And you sort of think that you should have more time. And obviously, it's one of those great, I suppose, linchpins of what it is to experience and enjoy life is sort of the fact that we are mortal, and we probably all think we should have more time than we get, or that we don't get enough time, or that it goes quickly. I mean, it's that strange thing, because when you're a child, it's sort of like the year from having a birthday to the next birthday, or sort of from your holidays to the next annual holidays, whether it's summer, sort of winter time. As a child, it seems to take forever. And then as you get older and older, and more wiser supposedly, you got that thing where it's just that sort of time, the weeks fly by. I mean, it's that sort of, once you leave school and you're out there working, and if you have children, and it's just like, what, the kids are on holiday again. It's like they've only just had like a half-term holiday. You know, how is that happening? Why is that happening? That's unfair. It's what it seems like sometimes. I mean, it's that sort of classic deception that, say, as a child you hate school, you think it's the worst time of your life, and then when you're an adult and you look back, you can think sort of like, when you was at school, life was simple, life was easy. And obviously things change, perceptions change, but the more important thing is how time can appear to differ, even though time is, as we know it, constant. A second is still a second. 5 minutes are still 5 minutes, but depending on what you're doing, those 5 minutes can seem like 5 hours or 5 seconds. So anyway, let's move on from there, because obviously what the Havamal then goes on to talk about is not staying too long as a guest somewhere. Don't overstay your welcome. I mean, it's one of those things that sort of also in the last verses as well of this section talks about the value of your own home, having your own space and being self-sufficient. And really, that sort of, it's good to go and visit people, it's good to socialise, it's good to be a good guest, it's good to be a good host. It's also nice to enjoy your own space. And whether it's, I don't know, again, sort of harkening back to sort of being a child, being teenager, young adult, parent. It's that sort of, your bedroom is your sanctuary normally when you're younger, and then as an adult it might be you move into your own place, or you settle down with someone, a partner, and you have your own space, and the satisfaction from being self-sufficient. Now, obviously, there's varying levels of what qualifies, or I don't know, from other people's perceptions of what self-sufficiency means. And most people may wish that this is determined by having more money, or a lot of money, or various other riches, or wealth, or material things. And I think really with the last sort of verse 37, 36 and 37, what Odin is really saying is that even if you have the minimum of things, the minimal space, if that space is yours, it is something to be proud of and to enjoy. And that you can welcome other people into those sort of spaces, but you don't want them to stay too long either. I mean, it's something you probably experience at one point or another, that someone comes to stay, they stay too long, things get awkward, things get weird, or things get strained because of something that happens. And the key is, probably establishing an agreed boundary that, yeah, I'm coming to stay for 2 days, rather than I'm coming to stay for a little while. It's the come and stay for 2 days because, it's a holiday and we're family, etc, 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 or I haven't seen you for a long time, blah blah blah. And you're both parties are aware of the boundaries, and other than sort of things outside of your sort of control, such as, I don't know, let's say bad weather, that's something that you deal with as friends and then move on. It's just sort of be able to know what your boundaries are, and if you're uncertain, talk about it. I mean, it's moving into the next video of notes on the Havamal. It's one of those things that if you are good friends with someone, you can talk about things. And so really, don't overstay your welcome. So that's going to be my notes on verses 34 to 37, the deception of time. And see you soon. Let's be careful out there. Thank you very much.